Hi guys, welcome back to another video. I'm Kirsten. Welcome to Kirsten Naturally. I cut my hair. If you haven't watched any of my videos before, then you wouldn't know that, but if you have, you'd see there's a big difference here. Today, I've got two fall-inspired recipes for you. One of them is going to be overnight oats. The second one is a fall roast. Now both I'm using seasonal produce, amazing herbs and spices, so do not miss that second one. You really are gonna wanna batch cook that one because you're gonna wanna put it on everything that you eat for the whole week. So do not forget to tag me in the photos of the amazing food that you make using these recipes at home, because I know you're gonna want to. I know you're gonna want to once you see them. Without further ado, let's get started on the first recipe, overnight oats. For our overnight oats, we're going to start out with oats. We'll also be using dried cranberries and cinnamon. We'll also be using either maple syrup or coconut sugar. You'll also want a plant milk. I chose Good Karma unsweetened flax milk because it does have 1,200 milligrams of omega-3 per serving, and since I'm not going to be heating this at all, that will stay intact. And I also just love this milk. So we're going to start out with our oats. What you'll do is fill up 1 cup of oats. Then you're going to take your plant milk. You'll pour a cup. Then you're going to add your walnuts. I'm gonna do about a half a cup. We're also going to be adding our dried cranberries. So I'll probably just put like a 1/4 cup. Now our cinnamon. So I like a lot of cinnamon. This is up to you. If you haven't seen Michael Greger's nutritionfacts.org video on antioxidants in spices, particularly cinnamon, go watch that. It's great. So now that we've got our 1 cup of oats, our 1 cup of milk, and our toppings and fillings, I should say. Now we're going to add the rest of our oats. Since I'm sharing with Doug, I'm gonna do extra, and I actually am not gonna do 2 full cups. I will do 1.5 so that we have room to expand in the bowl. So that means we'll need another half cup of liquid. And easy as that. Oops, I forgot to do the coconut sugar. I'm sure that it would be good without it, but who am I kidding? I'm going to put in a tablespoon of coconut sugar, and then tomorrow when we taste it out, when you taste it out, when I taste it out, we're all different. We're gonna see what we like. So I encourage you to just start with a tablespoon, and then tomorrow, if you need more sugar, add more sugar. Ain't nobody judging you. Now we're good. Except for that oat on my finger. We'll pop a lid on this and we'll put this in the refrigerator overnight, and it'll be ready for us tomorrow. Good morning. And our overnight oats look like they are perfectly done. You can probably put a little bit more liquid in if you like your oats kind of wet, but this is perfect for me. And now I'm gonna put it all into a bowl and make it beautiful. I'm gonna add this Bosc pear. I'm just gonna cube up a little bit, probably like half of it, and top that on here. And then I'll add some more fun little toppings, and I'll show you guys. Here's the finished product. It's not the most beautiful, but I tried. There's those Bosc pear cubes, and then I topped it with a little bit of the dried cranberries. Now it's optional. If you like, you can add a little bit of milk, which I'm gonna do. What we're gonna be using for our roast today is seasonal squash, and this is a butternut. This is a delicata, and to be honest, I really cannot remember the name of this. So y'all in the comments, let me know if you know what this squash is. And then we've got a few sweet potatoes here. I have some cashews. I have just about a 1/4 cup here. Then I usually add dates to my roast, and I thought I would go ahead and use up what's in my fridge. I have some of these little date cubes that I made from a leftover crust recipe, which will be coming soon. It's so good. For now, the leftover crust will go into little cubes. Then we've got some beautiful fresh ginger and then a little bit of garlic. So this is pretty seasonal, pretty basic, but you can use whatever you want here. You know, try whatever squashes are at your local health food store. Sweet potatoes, again, you can use any potato you like. I prefer sweet potato, especially in the fall. It just is so warm and orangey. I don't know, it just feels good. Ginger, I feel like also is like warm and spicy and just reminds me of fall so much. Garlic, another great thing for warming up during these cooler fall months. So let's get started. Let's make way, baby, for the spices. So here I have a measuring spoon and some coriander. I like to buy whole coriander instead of ground. I find it just gives it so much more real flavor when you grind it yourself. Pro tip hack here, I just buy pink salt from Trader Joe's and black pepper and stuff, and I keep the containers, and boom, boom, super cheap way to use containers and not waste them and not have to buy these. Rainbow peppercorn, a little fennel.
I told you guys I have a lot of these jars.
A little sage.
Look at that. Ooh.
So we're gonna do about 3/4 tablespoons of sage. I have a vegan organic poultry seasoning. This is just great because it kind of has sage like we just put, but it also has other really great earthy spices that are awesome for a roast. So we're gonna do about a teaspoon of that. This is a lot of spices. I don't know if you want to do this much.
Yes, you do. Don't lie to yourself.
I like things very flavorful with herbs. So this is cinnamon. We're gonna be adding just under a teaspoon. Look at that spice setup. So this will make all of these vegetables taste amazing. So now that we're all ready, we're gonna get chopping up everything. Now, normally I would put maple syrup or even agave if I didn't have maple on a roast like this before I put all my herbs, but I'm out of maple and agave, and rather than pretend that I cannot function without them, I'm just gonna make do. I encourage you to do the same. Don't let ingredients get in the way of you eating really healthy, great food. If you don't have what you need, improvise. So I'm going to use a little bit of oil instead of maple syrup to keep the spices sticking to all of the amazing veggies we've got in here. That's gonna be it. So let's start this. To make things a little bit more salty, I'm also gonna add a little bit of liquid aminos. So right now we've got the spices, liquid aminos, and a little bit of oil. And let's just see how that does. It smells amazing. And then we've got all of our scraps here, and we can always make a veggie broth later in the week with that. You can definitely keep your scraps around and figure out what to do with them later. You don't have to figure it all out in one night, so don't stress and feel like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. So this is smelling and looking really good and looks pretty evenly coated with seasoning. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and pop this onto some baking trays and get it into the oven. Look how beautiful it all looks. And this is like tray 1 of 4, so
We in business.
all right, so for our kale bowls with our roasted vegetables, we're gonna cook down our kale. And I have a mixture of beautiful purple kale and some curly green kale as well. I have a backup jar in case I use a lot, because I tend to use a lot of kale. And then I just cook mine in a tiny bit of liquid aminos, and then when it's done cooking, add a little bit of apple cider vinegar. So I'll show you guys that, and then we'll make our kale bowls. Told you I'd need backup. We're gonna add some apple cider vinegar now that it's all cooked. And I like to just measure mine via the cap. So typically I'll do anywhere from 2 to 4 capfuls. And I think I'm gonna do about 3 for this one. You'll wanna mix that up. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. Then we're going to add everything to our bowl. You wanna do it this way so you get all the juices. Gotta fluff up my kale. Ooh, that's a pretty piece. And then we're going to take our veggies and, oh my goodness, look at these colors together. I get my tahini from Trader Joe's, and you can see it's nice and liquidy in there. That's what you want. I've done this, guys, with all kinds of utensils, and I've found that the fork is the best for this little splattered look. You can also top this off with a little bit of homemade gamascio, which is just black sesame seeds or white sesame seeds. I did both because I had both. Toasted and then with a little bit of salt. That's what makes it gamascio, and you can just top anything with this, but it is so nutty and delicious. I think it will just be perfect on top of this bowl. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and these recipes. If you make them at home yourself, don't forget to tag me on Instagram and comment below. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks again for watching. See you next time.